In this world, people present as one of four designations: alpha, beta, omega, or the rarest of all, enigma. Enigmas are so uncommon that most people live their entire lives never meeting one. They carry traits of all three designations, but belong to none. They are drawn instinctively and exclusively to their fated person, one single soul in the entire world who sent calls to them above everything else. When an enigma presents, they have no control over the pull. And when they find their person, they bond, completely, permanently, with a bite to the scent gland that marks both souls for life. Nobody chooses this. It simply is. This is the story of two best friends who didn't know what was coming until it arrived. Kai. Soren had known Ren Ashford for 7 years. 7 years was long enough to know someone completely or so. Kai had always believed. Long enough to know that Ren took his coffee with exactly 1 sugar and got irrationally competitive about board games and cried at animal documentaries, but would deny it with complete conviction if asked. Long enough to know the sound of his footsteps coming down a hallway, the specific quality of his silences. The difference between his thinking face and his worried face and his trying not to laugh face. 7 years was long enough. Kai had always thought. To know everything there was to know, he had been wrong. He just didn't know it yet. They had met at 12, both new students at Crestfield Academy in the same week, both equally lost. Both ending up in the wrong classroom on the same Tuesday morning and standing in the doorway looking at each other with the mutual recognition of people sharing an identical predicament. Wrong room? Kai had asked. Wrong building, Ren had said. They'd found the right building together. They'd been inseparable more or less ever since Ren Ashford was. In the way of people you know so well, they become part of your internal landscape. Just Ren, a fixed point. A constant. Beta designation. Quiet and steady and reliable in the way beta people often were. Without the intensity of alpha drives or the sensitivity of omega ones. He was calm where Kai was restless. Certain where Kai second-guessed. The particular person who made a room feel more settled, simply by being in it. He was also, and Kai had long since cataloged this with a detached appreciation of someone noting an objective fact. Extraordinarily good-looking dark hair, dark eyes. The kind of face that was better in motion than in stillness, because it was most itself when he was paying attention to something. He paid attention to everything. That was the thing about Ren. He never half-attended. Kai was an omega, had presented at 16, managed it quietly, got on with his life. His heats were mild and well managed with suppressants. His designation had never defined him particularly. He refused to let it, and Ren had never treated it as a thing that changed anything, which was one of approximately 10,000 reasons Kai loved him. Not romantically, just loved him. The way you love someone who has been part of your story for so long that the story doesn't make sense without them. That was what Kai had always believed. That was the version he'd been living. Until the Tuesday in October, when everything in the world quietly rearranged itself without asking his permission. Guy knew something was wrong before he understood what wrong meant in this context. It was a Tuesday. They were 19, first year of university, both at Varon University. Both in the same dormitory because they had coordinated this with the particular determination of people who had been side by side for 7 years and saw no reason to stop. Their rooms were next to each other. This was intentional. Kai had knocked on Ren's door at 8 a.m. to walk to their shared lecture together, a thing they did every Tuesday and Thursday without discussion. Having done it so long, it required no organization. No answer. Kai knocked again. Ren, silence, then not silence. A sound, small, tight, difficult. The sound of someone trying not to make noise and failing slightly. Ren Kai's hand was already on the door handle. I'm coming in. He opened the door. Ren was on the floor, not collapsed, sitting, deliberately, back against the foot of his bed. Knees drawn up, arms locked around them. He was very still in the specific way of someone expending significant effort to remain still. His jaw was set. His eyes, when he looked up at Kai, were dark and strange and not entirely Ren. Kai crossed the room immediately and crouched in front of him. "What's happening?" Kai asked. "Are you hurt?" "Don't." Ren's voice came out different. Rough at the edges, in a way it never was. "Don't come closer, Kai." Kai stopped. "Why?" Just Ren closed his eyes. The muscles in his arms were taut. He was holding himself very carefully, as if something inside was pushing at the boundaries of the container. "I need you to call campus medical. I think something is happening, and I don't know." "I'm not leaving you," Kai said. "Kai, I'm calling medical from right here." He already had his phone out. "But I'm not leaving." Ren opened his eyes. They were darker than usual. Not a different color, just deeper somehow. Like looking at the same body of water and finding it suddenly had no visible bottom. He looked at Kai and something moved through his expression. Something urgent and confused and afraid, and underneath all of it, something that Kai didn't have a category for yet. "Something's wrong with me," Ren said. "Nothing's wrong with you," Kai said, with more certainty than he had information to support. He was already dialing. "We're going to figure out what's happening." Campus medical team arrived in 8 minutes. They took one look at Ren and called the university's designation specialist, who arrived in 20, who took one look at Ren and went very quiet and very careful and said the word that changed everything: enigma. The designation specialist, a calm woman named Dr. Vasquez, with the particular composure of someone who delivered difficult information, regularly sat across from both of them in the medical center and explained Ren was 19. Late presentation? Extremely uncommon but documented. Some enigmas didn't present until the second designation marker was triggered, which required proximity to their fated person. Kai stared at her. "His fated person," he said. "Yes." Which means Dr. Vasquez said carefully, that his presentation was triggered by proximity to whoever his fated match is. The enigma designation works differently from alpha, beta, or omega. There is no general pool. There is one person. One specific person whose scent acts as the activation key. So to speak, the room was very quiet. Kai looked at Ren. Ren was looking at the wall. "We don't know who that person is," Kai said. Dr. Vasquez paused. A brief, careful pause. "The presenting enigma typically knows instinctively," she said. She looked at Ren. "Do you have any sense of—" "Yes," Ren said. "To the wall." His jaw was tight again. Kai looked at him. "Ren," he said. "Don't," Ren said. Same word as this morning, but different now. Not a warning about physical proximity, something else. "Look at me," Kai said. Ren looked at him, and in his eyes, that dark, deep, bottomless quality from this morning. But more now. More, and aimed with complete precision at Kai. The room was very quiet, thought Kai. Oh, Dr. Vasquez gave them information. Medical information, what presentation meant, what the bond instinct was, how to manage it, what the timeline looked like. She gave them both documentation. She gave Ren a medical-grade suppressant that would help manage the enigma drive while he processed. She also said, gently and directly, the bond impulse, the bite, is involuntary and unbonded. Enigmas in close proximity to their fated person. It is manageable with suppressants and distance. But it is real, and it requires respect from both parties. What does the fated person, Kai stopped? What does the other person feel? Omegas in proximity to a presenting enigma matched to them experience a responding pull, Dr. Vasquez said. Stronger than a normal scent attraction. It can be, she chose her word carefully, disorienting. Kai sat with this. He was an Omega. He was an Omega sitting 3 feet from his best friend of 7 years, who had just presented as an enigma. He was an enigma who, now that he was paying attention, now that the information had restructured how he was reading the room, was experiencing something in the air. between them that he had been, until about 45 minutes ago, categorizing as normal. As fine as just the ambient quality of being near Ren, he put this thought in a very small box and put the box on a very high shelf. Thank you, he said to Dr. Vasquez. They walked back to the dormitory. Separately, this was new. In 7 years, they had never consciously, deliberately chosen to walk separately. But Ren had said quietly in the medical center, "I need just a little distance right now, while the suppressants settle." Of course, Kai had said. He meant it. He understood. He walked back through the university campus in the October morning with a reasonable 10-meter distance between him and his best friend and tried to think clearly. It was more difficult than usual. The thing in the air had not gone away with the distance. If anything, knowing what it was had made it more present. The specific quality of being aware of Ren, always there. Always a low-level hum of awareness. 7 years of it had shifted register. Still familiar, enormously familiar, but clearer now. Like a frequency that had always been there, finally being tuned in properly, disorienting.
Daddy.
Dr. Vasquez had said. Yes, Kai thought. That was one word for it. They were careful with each other. This was new too. They had never needed to be careful before. Their friendship had the particular ease of something that had been established so long it required no maintenance. It just existed. Durable and certain. Like a piece of furniture that had always been there. Now, there was a quality to the space between them. An awareness that had always technically been present, but had never required management. Ren stayed on his suppressants. The presenting enigma drive was manageable that way, present, but handled. He was quieter than usual. Not distant, not cold, but careful. The particular careful of someone monitoring themselves. Closely, Kai went about his days with the particular determination of someone who has decided to not examine something. They are definitely examining. They still ate together, still studied in the same spaces, still talked about classes and campus and the mundane logistics of university life. The friendship was intact, but something had been added to it. Something that sat between them in the silence and was neither comfortable nor uncomfortable, just there, present, waiting. On Thursday, Ren said, "I know this is strange. It's new," Kai said. Strange and new aren't the same thing. Are you okay? Kai thought about the honest answer. "I'm processing," he said. "I think I need to process." Okay, Ren looked at him. "I'm not going anywhere." "While you process," "I know," Kai said. "Neither am I." On Friday, Kai called his mother. His mother was a practical woman who had navigated the designation system with clear-eyed realism and passed this quality to her son. He told her what had happened. There was a brief silence. "How do you feel?" she asked. "I don't know yet," Kai said. "Why do you know what an enigma bond means?" "For the Omega," Dr. Vasquez explained. He paused. "The pull." "It's not a trap," his mother said. "I want to be clear about that. The enigma bond is instinct on their side, but on the Omega side, there is always a choice. The pull is real, but it doesn't override your will. It never has." "I know. The question is," she paused. "Set aside the designation for a moment. Set aside what it means biologically. What do you know about Ren Ashford after 7 years?" Kai was quiet. He thought about 7 years. About someone who had walked through every difficult thing beside him without being asked. Who had shown up every time in every form required. Who had never once made Kai feel like a burden or a problem or too much. Who laughed at exactly the right moments and was quiet at exactly the right moments and had never not once looked through Kai the way so much of the world looked through Omegas. "I know a lot," Kai said. "Then you have more information than most people get," his mother said. "That's not nothing." 10 days after presentation day, they were in Kai's room. Late past midnight, the dormitory quiet around them. They had been studying or attempting to study, and the attempt had quietly turned into sitting, books closed, The lamp on the October dark outside. I need to talk about it, Ren said.
I know, Kai said.
Ren exhaled. I've been managing it. The medical side. The suppressants are working. The drive is he stopped. I have it under control. I want you to know that. I would never. I know you wouldn't, Kai said. The bite is involuntary without suppressants, Ren said, but I'm on them. I'm stable. I'm not going to, he stopped again. I'm not going to do anything without your full, complete, unambiguous choice. I need you to know that, Kai said gently. I know who you are. I've known who you are for 7 years. I know you. Ren looked at him. Does it scare you? Ren asked quietly. What I am now? Kai thought about this honestly. No, he said. What scared me was the floor. Seeing you on the floor, not knowing what was happening, that scared me. He paused. What you are now, what you've apparently always been under the surface, that doesn't scare me. You're being very calm, Ren said. I'm an Omega in proximity to an Enigma matched to me, Kai said. I am not actually that calm. I'm performing calm. Something moved in Ren's expression, close to amusement. The recognizable Ren amusement, familiar and warm even through everything else. How are you actually? Ren asked. Confused, Kai said honestly. Because I look at you and I see my best friend. 7 years of my best friend. And I also feel he's stopped. Something that I don't have clean vocabulary for yet. The pull, Ren said quietly. Is that what it is? I don't know what it is on your side, Ren said. Dr. Vasca said Omegas feel a responding pull, but she didn't describe it. I only know my side. What's your side? Ren was quiet for a moment. You know how you have a sound, a specific frequency that you associate completely with home? He said, not a song. Just a sound. The particular sound of a place where you are completely safe? Yes, Kai said. Your scent is that, Ren said. Your scent is... It's the only thing in the world that sounds like that to me. He looked at his hands. I think it's been building for a long time without me having the designation context to understand it. I just thought you were my best friend and I wanted to be near you all the time, and that seemed normal. That seemed like what friendship was. Kai was very still. How long? He asked. I think Ren stopped. I think for longer than I realized. They looked at each other. Ren, Kai said carefully. If there was no designation, no bond instinct, no pull. If we were just two people who had known each other for 7 years, I would have told you I was in love with you probably a year ago, Ren said simply. If I'd had the language for it, which I didn't. The lamp, the October dark. Kai looked at his best friend of 7 years, who had apparently been in love with him and unable to say so, and felt something in his chest do a very complicated thing. I think, Kai said slowly. I've been in love with you for a while too. Ren went very still. Kai, not because of the pull, Kai said. I want to be clear about that. I don't know yet where the pull ends and the rest of it begins. But the rest of it, he paused. The 7 years of it. That's not the designation. That's just you. You specifically. Who you are when no one's asking anything of you. Who you are at 2A.M. Who you are in every version of every situation I've seen you in. He looked at Ren. That's not biology. That's a choice I've been making every day without knowing I was making it. Ren looked at him with those dark eyes, deeper than usual, the enigma quality in them. But underneath, just Ren. Just the person Kai had known for 7 years, who had always paid full attention. I don't want you to choose this because of what I am, Ren said. I need you to know that. The bond, it should be your choice. Completely. Not because of a pull, or because you feel sorry for me, or because Ren, Kai said. Stop. Ren stopped. Let me be very clear, Kai said. I am not choosing anything right now. Not tonight. This conversation is not me making a decision. It's me being honest with you about where I am. The same way you were honest with me. He held Ren's gaze. We have time. You're stable. I'm processing. And neither of us needs to do anything tonight except be exactly what we've been for 7 years. Best friends, Ren said. Best friends, Kai agreed, who are also in love with each other, apparently. A pause. The corner of Ren's mouth moved. Apparently, he said. It's a lot of information to have on a Thursday. Kai said. It's Friday, technically. It's a lot of information to have at 1 a.m. on a Friday, Kai said. Ren laughed. The real one, warm and unmanaged and entirely himself. Kai sat in his desk chair and listened to his best friend laugh in the lamplight and felt something quietly, enormously, settle. The weeks after were a recalibration, not a dramatic one, not a sudden transformation, just a gradual, honest renegotiation of a relationship that had always been significant and was now, it turned out, even more so than either of them had known. Kai paid attention to the pull. He was a biochemistry minor, and he found it useful to think about things analytically, to separate, as cleanly as he could, the biological component from the personal one. The pull was real. He felt it when Ren was near, a warmth, a particular drawing sensation, sense of rightness that was physical and involuntary. But beneath the pull, or perhaps woven through it, was everything else. 7 years of everything else. And as the weeks went on and he sat with both simultaneously, he found that he couldn't actually separate them cleanly, because the pull, he realized, felt like Ren. It didn't feel like a foreign thing imposed on top of his feelings. It felt like an expression of them. Amplified, clarified. Biological, but pointing in the same direction his heart had apparently been pointing for longer than he'd acknowledged. He told this to June, his friend from secondary school, now also at Varen on a different campus, available by phone on a November evening. So you can't tell where the designation ends and the genuine feeling starts, June said. Not really, Kai said, which I thought would bother me more than it does. Why doesn't it bother you? Kai thought about it. Because I know Ren, he said. I've known him for 7 years. If I had met him with no designation context at all, if we'd both been betas with no pull, no bond instinct, nothing biological, I think I would have landed here anyway. I think the feeling was always going in this direction. He paused. The designation just made it visible. Made it impossible to keep not looking at. That's very honest, June said. Ren makes me honest, Kai said. He always has. Ren, for his part, was learning too.